Good evening and welcome to the Mancunian way. I am back. Hope you're all well. Evening, Pat. Morning. Evening.
Good day to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's feeling better than what my voice sounds. But isn't a great band of blue right now.
Yeah. Cheers for that, Thief. I hope your teacher's doing well and they can fight it off, mate. No problem. You want to share the link, by all means, share away, mate. Hold that United. Exactly. We're going to get into it all. What an amazing day it was. Long day. Tiresome day. But it was one hell of a day. Come on, guys. Get them likes up. Exactly, says Adam. Would like to say I wish my brother and uncle were here to witness all this. You know what, Matt? This is what it does. We're doing it all for the people that are not here to witness this. With those to share this journey, they'll be looking down at exactly spot on. If Martin is treble 5, can Alan be the treble daddy? No, because Alan's too negative to be treble anything. Hello, J2 Trap. How are you? Hope you are well. I hope there's no negativity tonight. So don't get Alan may come on, but I've told him positive tonight. He's had a warning. Best FA Cup final of all time. Yeah, best one for us, not the best game of all time. I wouldn't say that. Come on, City. Exactly. Come on, Blues. You made United cry. Are you just singing away in the comments? You're not in cheers now, you know.
That's why I'm typing, mate, because I don't really have much of a singing voice left.
Good evening, Blues. Tell you what, some of the photos of you and Rich just says it all.
Mate, you should have been there. It was the best turnout probably since 93-20.
We were on time tonight. The intro's 2 minutes long. Cheeky bugger. Treble daddy. Yeah, it's more like treble baby. Hello all, Alec Johnson, how are you? I'll come up with something for him. Dudley's in the house. Hello, Sean. Hello. Our voices are going, as you can tell. They're just dumb. One more to go. Yeah. And then we rest. Yeah. The treble will be ours. We'll get into that, definitely. Alex, how are you, mate? Yes, boys. How are we all doing? Champion, mate. Champion. Only Blue in the village. Good evening. How are you? Bebop's in the house. Lego, treble. Hello, Blues. Hello, DC. Spencer Mac. 1 to go. Do you know what? It still feels surreal. I'm dreaming. Surely we did just not there. No. 2 down, 1 to go. I'm trying to get through as many comments as I can. I will catch up to them all at some point because there's going to be a crossover when Rich and Alan and hopefully Vader all come in as well. Good evening, gents. For a happy Blue, John Stone played great. Man of the match for me, and I'll tell you why as we get into it. 2 down, 1 to go. Premier League, tick. FA Cup, tick. Champions League, tick. One more to go, and the mother of all parties. I'm so happy, more than you believe. City champions. 1 more, Blues. Good evening to double winning fans. Good evening, Charles. How are you? Anyone know where they're live screening the match in Manchester? City have put tickets on. It's on the City website, mate. Nobody, Jessica, thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the Avengers show. Look well. I'm looking rather tanned. Hello, Pardo Oaks. How are you? City. Gotta love it. Welcome back, Martin. Pat's all dressed up. He's on his way to work. That's why we're in a rush. Anyway, Pat, how do you feel? 2023 Premier League champions. 2023 FA Cup champions. Tell me all about it, mate.
Oh, what a special day. What a special night. You know, this part of the world, I couldn't believe the outpouring of emotion, the positivity, you know, even those sort of, you know, skeptical Blues that we are, the Birdies, you know, we still felt confident that we could get a result because, you know, you always got to be confident going into any derby. But, I mean, to be, one goal up, inside the first 12 seconds of the match. I thought it might have set the tone, but fair play to United. Actually, they did play relatively well, especially in the midfield, man to man. I thought they were okay, but besides that, I mean, I think we had decent control on the game. Just you know what it is. It's because it's a derby. It's like you feel like we could probably put another 2 or 3 past them, but because derbies, work in mysterious ways, it's never going to be as easy as what you think it is. But besides that, the proof's in my voice, mate. I mean, it was just a fantastic evening. We loved every minute of it. Anybody who was feeling a bit nervous, they had about 5 or 6 other Blues around them with a beer and singing and, taking your mind off, any distractions and that. Fair play to our venue. They kept all the Reds down at their pub 2 blocks away. And, it was, all around it was just the perfect weekend, the perfect day, the perfect night, the perfect day out. I'm sure it was for you as well, mate. And what a way to see yourself into next week before the big trip over to Istanbul. I can't wait. I really cannot wait.
To get off that plane, to get in my car, I was totally relaxed. I was so relaxed.
Yeah.
Tired, but I was relaxed.
Yeah.
Then I got to Watford Gap. I was like, oh, right, nerves were going a bit. Then I got to Wembley and I thought, nope, fine, can do it. Then the teams come out. The team was exactly as I thought it was going to be. There was no surprise in that team whatsoever for me.
Yeah.
It just wasn't.
Maybe Ake for Akanji, but that was about it, wasn't it?
No, I predicted I thought Akanji would have played.
Yeah.
Next week might be a different scenario when we talk about that.
Yeah,
but
possible.
I was totally fine in terms of that. Abide With Me came on. Then I got a bit. I love FA Cup final day. I love everything about FA Cup final day. The Abide With Me, national anthem.
Abide With Me came on. We're not playing Barnsley.
But
we're in Yorkshire.
And then the teams came out. Mike Summerbay and Bacon Face were bringing the trophy on. And it was really weird because in the stadium, they had their songs being played, our songs being played, and we were a lot louder than them. We were by far louder than them. I think they all thought they were in bloody corporate or whatever. But their fans just were not. They just were not with it at all. Even when they were singing, we were over singing them. Then the team got read out. We did the Poznan. Just give me 2011 vibes all over again because we did it there as well. And then took my seat, kicked off, and I was like, what the hell? And I said it earlier on the Avengers show. I said, when you go into a derby, you get nervous. Doesn't matter league position, doesn't matter anything. When you go in, you're nervous. 13, 14 seconds in, them nerves are gone.
Yeah.
I don't know what your guys were like, but that was just like.
Do you know what? Do you know what was funny? I do remember there was one lad in particular who was nervous. He was just as soon as it kicked off, he's like, all right, now I'm absolutely bricking it. And then 15 seconds later, he starts laughing. He says, I must have heard about 3 or 4 people say, that's it. I'm never going to the loo again after a ball's been kicked. We must have had about 5 or 6 people who went to the loo during kickoff come out and miss the bloody goal.
Evening, Andrew. How are you, mate? Off to Istanbul on Friday. Yeah, I hope you have a great time. Long one, but have a great time. Do you know what it was with me? The team never surprised me. But it was really weird because we kicked off the way we normally do. We always go back to the keeper generally, and it was big punt. Haaland I'm going to get into because I've heard some crap that Haaland played really bad yesterday. And I'm sorry, just because you don't score doesn't mean you had a bad game. I thought Haaland was actually really good yesterday. And to me, I thought it showed a lot more development in his game. His hold-up play, his strength. And I think he learnt a lot from the swamp, because all I heard coming out of Old Scaffold was, oh, United dominated him. They dominated him. He didn't get a sniff. And yeah, he probably did get dominated at United. But I'll tell you what, yesterday, he bullied their back four. Bullied them. Twisted and turned them. All day long. And that goal, the flick on, KDB, soon as Gundogan hit it, we were up. We knew where that was going.
It looked good even from where we were.
It was... I mean, we'll get into the Champions League, I promise you will. I predict. Listen, I've been the treble for anyone who's new to this, welcome to the channel. But I am literally been the treble father since January. Pat can actually testify to that one. Since January. I've had the belief that this was happening. And we are winning the treble. Hello, everyone. I'm Luke. I live in a small village called Founding District. Provide for nobody disabled children. Thank you. Thank you for joining in. I hope everything's going well over there. But thank you for joining in from so far away. You are a pleasure to have you. You thought it was yours. You thought it was 30,000 bucket hands. Thank you. It was just everything was great. There you go, J2 Trap. You got your shout out, mate. Haaland played very well, more of a team player. Exactly. I mean, what did you think of Haaland? Because I've heard some people thought he wasn't in the game, and I don't get it.
No, it was fine. The only probably thing I could say mentioned was there was a couple of occasions where he took about 4 or 5 touches before he passed it, or before he, carried on with the ball and that. So there was maybe that was a little bit of cup final nerves. You never know. But look, you've got to go back to, what did we say? What was one of Haaland's best performances this season? At home against Arsenal. Before it even scored that goal, some of that setup play and the holding play that he did was fantastic. And you wouldn't have seen that from him 6 months before. So, look, that's what we got to realize. It's just like, he's not going to bury the ball in the back of the net. But if he's going to be offering the support play and dragging 2-3 defenders at a time and allowing our Gundogans and our De Bruynes to feast and have an absolute field day and give them so many opportunities, then who are we to critique Haaland? At the end of the day, it's Pep makes the moves, and there was people out there that questioned whether we should have a number 9 because our false 9 system was working so well for 2 years. But you've got to evolve, and I think Pep probably looks at Haaland as a project of being like, yeah, okay, this guy's going to bag a lot of goals, but let's not factor in. Let's not also forget too, the guy's nearly bagged 10 assists in the Premier League this season too. That's significant for a number 9 as well. So you got to take the rough with the smooth and just understand that he's not going to be able to get you a hat trick every single game. It's not going to dry up. The goals aren't going to dry up in that too, but he's not going to bag him every game. But if he's going to keep after these support roles, as long as we've got effective midfielders who are clinical where they're finishing, keep it up.
Mate. I've done your shout out 3 times. Can't shout out every time, mate. I've said, there you go. 6 days from immortality, we are. I'm going to talk about Beckham's thing in a minute. The Beckham interview is coming, don't worry. What did you think of the United setup? Do you think Ten Hag banked on the way they played at the Swamp too much in that January game?
Yeah, he went, especially in the midfield. He went back to the man marking. He went back to the man marking for for the midfielders. Trying to constrict and limit our opportunities and that too. But they didn't seem to offer much going forward. They were basically. You could tell that they were kind of missing Anthony. I think they were missing Anthony a bit in terms of a bit more of a directness and a bit more of a better tempo in attack. But they just didn't seem to offer anything. And we just had to be patient, because anytime we pressed their defense, the ball went straight back to De Gea, and he just hoofed it either out of play or straight back to us, and we just went again. So for me personally, like after probably after that first 10 minutes after we'd scored and we were a bit dominant and they started to play a little bit, I was just playing like, you did feel like maybe there was going to be some sort of a little bit of a dodgy decision. And going back to the game we had at Old Trafford, I just thought to myself, I was like, please don't let this determine the outcome of the game or something. And then obviously, you know, the penalty happens, and then there's the never-ending argument about, is it a penalty? But the law of the land in today's game says that it is. But
oh no, I'm coming to that. Don't you worry.
No. I get that. I get that.
I've got the rule. PD Pete Proudlock's in the chat. Thank you, mate. Go over it. If you are interested in anything Newcastle, Pete does a great show over there, which I am part of now and again. Pete, get over there. Congratulations to Newcastle on getting into the Champ League as well. Thank you, Lucky Singh. The ref, we're going to talk. Listen, the first, because obviously I hadn't seen a lot of it being down there. You don't see as many things. But at halftime, because my phone died at halftime, I had issues with my charger going down. Thing is, because my phone wasn't charged up on the plane, and then so my phone has died. Sadly, I couldn't get any bloody footage. I was gutted. The Casemiro tackle on a Kanja. I didn't see that until I got home. What did you think watching it live on that Casemiro thing?
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember the challenge myself, but it wasn't exactly a clean tackle. And you know, I think at first when you see, probably from your angle, when you saw Akanji go down, you thought maybe it was just a bit of a nasty hit, bit of a knock. But you know, the studs were up a little bit. I'm surprised they didn't maybe just have a quick little look at a VAR. Maybe they did, but you know, it did happen inside what I think the first 10 or 15 minutes of the game. So I don't know if Tierney was Paul Tierney was the referee, wasn't it? Martin?
Yeah, Paul Tierney was the referee.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't know if it was just. I don't know if it was because it was early. It was trying to make the game run. You know, keep the game flowing a bit. But it was a bit of a nasty one. And Casemiro is known for doing this from time to time too. And certainly his disciplinary record in this first season at United is a shell of what it was over 7, 8, 10 years, whatever it was, how long he was at Real Madrid. So I don't know, guys. The chat might have a bit more of a choice, a bit more of a say on the red card, but I thought it needed a bit more of an analysis from VAR because he might have considered brandishing some sort of colour of card.
To me, I didn't see it till I saw it properly when I got home. It was a red. It was a red. 100% it was a red. But that's Casemiro. Casemiro did that at Real Madrid. If everyone remembers, he scissor tackled KDB once.
Yeah.
And got away with it. So, yeah, I know you have to bounce in a couple of minutes. Patty's going to come back as well. Alan's going to join us. Hopefully, Vaya. So you're going to get me on my own for about 10 minutes, but I can get through the comments. That's why I'm holding off on some of the comments because you're going to have 10 minutes where I just blast through all the comments. So all your comments will be read out. Yeah. I just think, looking, it was a definite red. I thought Fred got away with. Fred should have been yellow carded on the totting up process.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
The penalty for me wasn't a penalty for two reasons. Not because I'm biased. The law of the rule is it has to be your hands have to be in a unnatural position. I beg anybody from 3 yards away, maybe 2 yards, try and jump in the air with your arms by your side. You look a fool.
Unless you're swan diving into a swimming pool with you, when you're a kid, when you're swan diving in a pool to do a silly dive to make your mates laugh, that's it. But apart from that, he's in a natural position. And Chuck said it perfectly as well too. He said, "I'm not even looking at the ball," and it hits him at point blank. He wasn't looking at the ball because he's tried to head it. He's tried to jump ahead of Wan-Bissaka to try and head it to clear the ball away, and then then that happens. It's like that. You can't help but feel like they were looking for it. Not United, but it was almost like bloody VAR was looking for it. You know what I mean?
Well, Super City's put in never a pen, even by the rules. It wasn't an unnatural position. You cannot jump
And
with
then,
your arms by your side.
yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyway, guys, look, I'm going to bounce in 10 minutes anyway, but I'll be back on shortly.
No worries, mate.
Cheers, boys. Cheers.
Evening, Vayton. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, man. Good to see Pat. Good to see you. Really good circumstances. So, man, I just came in at the end, so I assume you guys were talking about the VAR called pen on Grealish.
I mean, for you, what do you think? Penalty, no penalty?
Well, I'm going to first talk about the emotion of it. And watching the game, getting in the flow of things, and then hey, come check the monitor. Emotionally, I was like, oh, here we go. In the group chat with True City Fan, I was like, the fix is in. Here we go. And it was just like, Martin, I don't know if you remember, but when we got screwed with the non-offside call at Old Trafford, I think I was heated for like 3 hours. I couldn't calm myself down. And I was revisiting that time when this call was made because I was like, he wasn't deliberately making himself big for the ball to have contacted him. He jumped early to clear it, and it was like a bounce. It wasn't like it just, in terms of the flow, it wasn't him trying to make himself blocking the ball. So I was irritated. I was really angry with that call when it happened. And then that put me on alert because I was like, I want the same level of detail with these other calls that are happening within the box. And it wasn't there. So I'm glad the game obviously ended the way it did, but I was heated. I was so mad with that call.
Yeah, it's because evening, Alan. The simple fact is, anyone who's ever played the game, and this is where it comes in with some of these refs, I don't think any of them ever played the game. They mustn't have done.
No.
Because when you jump for a football, you don't jump with your arms by your side.
No.
Because you can't.
Yep.
Nobody jumps up like that, like a lamp post. People don't do that. Jack Grealish, she's not even looking at the football.
Exactly.
So
I'm gonna drop off, but I'm jumping back in just because I'm at a kid's practice. But I had to say hello as well because apologies for being late, but I'll be back, guys.
No, it is. Everyone's in and out today. I'm loving it. We're swapping around. Alan.
I know. Sorry, I was late, Martin. I overslept this morning, so it's early doors this morning.
Oh, Alan's been shopping.
Yeah, I've been. As soon as he came out, I went straight online and bought it. Got Holland on the back, got it sorted, all done. So we're in matching tops today.
Yeah, I got mine the day it came out though. Anyway.
Yeah, no, you did because you were first in the queue at the souvenir shop at 4 a.m, weren't you? So
what do you think of the penalty decision?
Well, it's not the referee's fault. It's the law that it is now because something similar happened in the Champions League when the law was saying one thing and we all thought, hang on, that's not penalty because he can't do anything about it. It was about half an inch away from each other, and because his hand was above his head when it actually hit his hand, that's why it was given. So I understand the rule, but the rule's the wrong part, not the referee. The rule needs to be changed because that's not intentional for starters, because he wasn't even looking at the ball, and you can't jump without your hands, like you've just said. So it's a stupid law, and that needs to be changed. Well, as soon as the season finishes,
right.
Because
do you think, according to the law, it was a penalty?
But the law is wrong because it's a letter of the law, and that's a penalty. But it's stupid.
Wasn't. See, what you're saying there, it wasn't. What is the law?
Well, if your hand is in an unnatural position, because it hit his hand.
Right, so what Grealish was doing was in an unnatural position.
Well, he was.
For you.
His hand and his arm were unnatural position. The ball's gone like that. And the ball's gone up like that off his hand.
It didn't. He brushed his fingernails. The ball didn't go up. Brushed his fingernails. You actually look, Alan, the law is, like you said, in an unnatural position. Look how Grealish has jumped. His hands, for me, are in the most natural position going. Every pundit, every former football player said that's how your arms are when you jump. So it's not.
I agree with you. That's why, Martin. That's why the law needs to be changed at the end of the season. And after next weekend, after we finish playing next week, they need to sit down and change that. If not now, actually, in England, you can do that now. But it needs to change.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking. What part of Grealish, as he jumps, is unnatural? Because you can't jump up with both hands by your side.
Well, I do. When the VAR guy told the referee to go to the screen and have a look himself, we glad the referee did go to. That's what I think should happen every single time he goes for a penalty decision. The referee should go to the TV screen and make his own mind up.
But they don't. The trouble is when a referee goes to the TV screen now.
So I applaud that. He made a decision.
Alan, your connection's really bad at the minute. I don't know what's up.
I'm on full bars, mate.
Right.
So I'm on full
really
bars.
Glitchy. It's a really glitchy at the moment. Yeah.
Well, so you're very glitchy to me. You're like going in and out.
Yeah, but I'm perfectly fine on the stream. I've got the stream live. It's at your end.
Well, I don't think there's anything I can do. Do you want to go off?
Just come off and then come back on. And then I'll just sort of reset it and come back on, mate. Might clear it up.
Okay.
I'll just read some of the comments while Alan just sorts his Wi-Fi. Imagine the Guerra moment with these rules. He probably wouldn't have shooted aim for the defender's hand instead. Good point. If Grealish was handballed, then Wan-Bissaka's was handballed. There you go. If player contacts me, then foul. We deserve the pen. I'm going to get into that as well because I can see why it should have been given. I can see why it wasn't. The Casemiro one was dead on red, though. Same happened on second half, not given. How didn't we get a penalty when KDB was fouled in the box? Evening, Pat, you back?
Yeah, mate, back for more, just like a boomerang.
Yeah, Pat, everyone's jumping in and out for work. We're not working, you see. Alan's just sorting out his Wi-Fi. I mean, according Alan thinks it was in Grealish's hand was in an unnatural position.
Look, it's an unnatural position. Given, would you say it's an unnatural position because of his body positioning? No. It's an unnatural position because his hand just happens to be in the same path of the ball. I don't know. Like, is that a logical explanation for it? I really don't know because, as we said before, it's like, how would you what kind of defending would you call that if you're leaping with your hands tucked by your side as a precaution because you think, oh God, maybe the ball's going to touch me? You can't do it. If you want to get maximal leverage to try and clear a header, your hands naturally aren't by your side. They're up.
Yeah. No, you know what? I agree with that. It's like sub two's put here. Hang on, if we're going by the law, Casemiro should have been sent off by the law.
Yeah. But Jack said it perfectly when he was interviewed after the game. He goes,
"Oh yeah, I agree with
the ball. He wasn't even looking at the ball."
Yeah, that's why I don't buy according to the law argument because the law is in an unnatural position. This is why I'm saying they must never have played football.
Yeah,
because they've never jumped for a football. Then
no,
you don't jump up like a lamppost.
Martin, how many times in the season, this season, and in all games, has this sort of thing happened, and they've given penalties, and they have.
Doesn't make
So
it right though.
it's to the letter of the law. I don't agree with the law. I don't agree. I thought when it happened, and it started to play on, I thought shit, that could have been on ball, that, and then it got a call back. As soon as it got a call back, I just turned around to everyone in the pub and said, "We're going to get a penalty here."
No, but I understand what you're saying with the law, Alan. I'm asking you,
yeah,
what part of it, Alan,
it needs to
was
be
an
changed.
unnatural position for you?
Well, his hand, he jumped as he was coming down. His hand went up like that, and that's when it hit his hand.
But that's it, Alan. That's a natural
Really,
position because
the
you
interview,
have to put your arms up to elevate,
Yeah,
and then
hang
you've got
on.
to bring them down. Then you got to keep them for balance.
After you bring your hands down after.
Yeah, but when you're jumping, Alan, your arms go up to get elevation.
Well, I don't.
Is it
Mate,
not?
we've always had this problem. That's why you get handballs in the penalty area. Well, hang on. When you go, how many times in all divisions, people had a ball lots of times. There's not a lot you can do, mate. There's not a lot you can do.
What we're saying is, Alan,
until that law has changed, until they've changed the law.
You're not understanding what we're saying, Alan. We're not saying the law supersedes play. The law is unnatural position. We're saying it wasn't an unnatural position.
Yeah.
It was a natural position. It was the VAR people who said it was unnatural. Every single ex-footballer, Alan, who has seen it has said it was a natural position.
Oh no! Listen, I've watched YouTube. I watched YouTube yesterday on Sunday, and Alan Shearer, they were all saying it. Roy Keane, everything, they're all saying it.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's not the law; it's the VAR who
Yeah.
decided that was their interpretation of it.
So
this is what I mean.
So VAR's interpretation is basically everybody in that box jumps like a penguin.
Yes, that's what we're saying there. Yeah. It's David Coote and Paul Tierney's interpretation of unnatural.
Do you know David Coope's a Man United fan, don't you?
Well, yeah, we don't know.
He's got a picture of Old Trafford on his cover photo on
No,
Facebook.
just hang on a minute. That's been put out as that's a false account. So let's not start that one. Yeah, because the referee is allowed to go on Facebook.
Guilty until proven innocent.
Bloody hell. Because he played that one last year.
We're guilty.
No, he's not.
We're guilty.
Who says we're guilty?
I'm just saying, guilty before proven innocent.
But we're not, Alan, because no one said we're guilty.
Anyway, you're not going down that road.
Anyway, I just beg people to understand what they're reading, you know. Anyway, then we come to, obviously, they scored the penalty. One thing that wasn't good, because it was bang in front of me, was not me. There was an item thrown at one of the United players, which is not good. Shouldn't really happen. We shouldn't resort ourselves to that level where we're chucking items at footballers. Not great. Bruno was a bit of a dick.
He's always a bit of a dick.
Bruno,
yeah, he was, but it doesn't mean we chuck things at players, Alan, and nearly blind them.
What was it?
I don't know. Some people have said it's a lighter. Some have said money. We don't know.
Should have picked it up.
No, he did get hit. It shouldn't have happened. But hey ho.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, other than that, because I've heard people say today, United with a better team, United with this. I need to know what game they're watching.
Do you want my opinion on the game?
I know what you're going to say. United with a better team.
I thought City could from start to finish, and the second half Second half, we were far better than the first half. I didn't think we played that well first half. I think we moved the ball too slowly. Yes, granted, it was warm out there, but we moved the ball far too slow in the first half. Second half, we were a lot better. We found a lot more space, and we were better second half. I thought we deserved to win on the basis that United only played on the counter attack, which they did. The silly marks. I thought if you have to choose a man of the match, obviously they're going to give it Gundogan for the goals he scored, but I thought John Stones was excellent. He made a difference by going into midfield, especially second half. He moved a lot up moving forward, and they pushed United back in the second half, which first half I didn't think they did very well. I think they lost the ball a lot in the first half by sloppy passing. But that was to do with they were too slow in the build-up from the start. They were far too slow. But second half they were a lot better. Obviously, we got a great start. And if you have to criticise them in any way, when they went 1-0 up, the next 15, 20 minutes, you should have gone for the throw, and they didn't. They should have gone for the throw and made it 2-0. Because if you'd have gone 2-0 up there, it'd have been a cricket score, and it would have been. The game would have been done. But they allowed United back in it by giving the ball away and playing at the tempo they did. But second half they were good. Second half they were better. But I've seen City play a lot better than that. I didn't think City played that well. But we did enough to win.
Pat,
we did enough to win.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't our best performance, but
Pat?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you loud and clear, mate.
Yeah.
All right, cool, mate. Yeah, because I'm just driving, so I might drop in and out from time to time. But look, definitely wasn't our best performance, but certainly wasn't United's best performance if they would consider themselves the better team, So you could tell they were missing, one or two players. Like I think Anthony would have made a little bit more of a difference, especially on the counter and with his energy. So that could have made things a little bit more different. But besides that, to allude what Alan said, I mean, John Stones, never mind a great performance, but man, he looks so comfortable in that midfield role. It's amazing how quickly he's transitioned in such a short space of time. And as you said, Gundogan deserves the plaudits because there's nobody better at a title charge or pushing for trophies in April, May every season than Ilkay Gundogan at the moment. So he deserves the plaudits, but John Stones, he definitely gets the silver medal, that's for sure.
You know the way I viewed it is that's the first time in 4 weeks we've had that 11 together.
Yeah.
And it showed.
Yeah.
Anyone who thinks United were the better team, I beg you to go and get some glasses. I beg you to go and understand the game of football. Because at no point when we're United ever on top in that game, did I ever sit there and go, "Oh, I'm scared of this lot"?
Last 5 minutes.
Second gear.
I know. It's the first half. I didn't get out of second gear.
Well, you say that, but we had chances. The Haaland chance, put over the bar.
Yeah, well, he should have done much for that.
The one from the Gundogan cross, he nearly punched in.
Well, they had one chance all first half, and that's penalty.
Yeah.
We had all the chances.
I know. But I was critical. When we went 1-0, we should have gone for the throat, and we didn't. For me, we didn't.
Emma looks in United, they're never going to score.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy. Super City's put here, gentlemen. City were like a cat with a mouse. We had them where we wanted them all game.
Yeah.
I think the scoreline made it feel more edgy. I
know. I must admit, last 5 minutes when in injury time, I couldn't sit still. I was my head in my hands thinking, "Oh my God, don't you dare!" When they hit the bar in the last minute, I was like, "Oh my God." It wasn't a City fan in that pub, and it was packed. Not worried in that last 5 minutes because we all thought the worst.
I just think that's all City-ness, Alan.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. And it was only 2-1.
And you're a goal in front. Of course, you're going to get nervous.
Yeah,
the way it is. But I honestly think I just put it down to them not playing together in 4 weeks. That was always my issue with Grealish. My issue with Grealish is a momentum player. You take him out the game for 4 weeks. You can't just roll back in and go right back to where I was.
Yeah, he's pretty much a cold start.
Yeah.
I thought Haaland was average.
I thought he was great.
Yep, I thought it was very average.
Why do you think it was average?
Obviously, the heading of the first goal, that was good in the first 13 seconds. But apart from that, I thought his first touch was quite a lot poor. I thought Varane had him in his pocket. I really did. I didn't think he was good at all. I thought he was our worst player.
Thought he turned it inside out, Alan.
I know. I thought Bernardo was poor.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that.
I thought Bernardo was poor, and it could have been substituted in my eyes and put Foden on beginning. That's at half time. I thought that's how bad he was. I thought that maybe 75 minutes I would have put Alvarez on and taken Haaland off because I was that concerned. I wasn't getting anything from. We weren't getting anything from him. That's that. Seriously, I'm not joking.
Go with that one.
Yeah, I didn't think he had a good game at all.
Look, he's right. He's right about Bernardo. He didn't have his best game, but
no. He's about Haaland. He said he didn't have a good game.
No. I agreed with Martin. I said to you, I thought he played a really good support act. Again, it comes down to you can't expect him to be making a hat trick every single game. Remember, I said before. I think
no one's saying that.
One of Haaland's best performances this season was against Arsenal at home. And even before the Samson effect, when he took his hair down and then he scored, before that he played an incredible support act with KDB. And I think without obviously scoring a couple more goals, I think he kept their defenders busy because it allowed midfielders a lot more opportunities. And that's what we've got to reflect on. It's just the goal tally is fantastic, but sometimes just the good work he does anonymously needs to be analysed and respected a bit more. And I said to you before, Matt, I said across all competitions, he's got double-digit assists too. That stands out to me as much as the 50 goals do, because we just think he's just going to be front and centre, just popping in, just being a quote-unquote tapping merchant, according to some people. But you got to think too, just those assists there, that really stands out for me in your first season, because he's doing more than what we initially thought he was just going to do.
Do you know what it was, Alan, for me? Obviously, watch it back. Do you remember Aguero when he first come?
Yeah.
He was a goal machine.
Yeah.
What happened when Pep came in? Aguero had to totally change, didn't he?
Oh, he had to. He was told.
Come deeper.
Yep.
Did you not think Haaland was doing that yesterday? You know that he was coming, getting the ball deeper, laying it off for Kevin De Bruyne, turning. Because I'm totally disagreeing with you on the Varane. I thought he twisted him left, right, and centre. Out-muscled him and out-jumped him at every option. He didn't lose a header yesterday, Haaland.
I didn't think.
To be honest, Martin. Sorry, I was just going to say. To be honest, you didn't see that in Aguero's game until probably towards the end of the Centurion season, and you definitely didn't see it on the regular. You didn't see it on the regular until probably the 2018-2019 season.
Not in his first 9 months.
Haaland's only doing it in small patches now, but I guarantee you, in another season or two's time, we're going to be seeing him doing that as frequently as what Aguero did after about 2 years.
He'll be coached. His first touch will be better, because if that's an area where he's weak at, that's his area where he's got to improve.
Depends what you mean by first touch, because his first touch when he was facing goal was okay. When he had his back to goal,
back to goal, his first touch.
Yeah, but did you not see what he was doing?
Yeah, I know that, but I wasn't. I've seen.
No, I'm asking you, what do you think he was doing? Why did it look like it was a bad first touch to you? Why?
Because he had his centre half right up his ass.
Right. Do you not think he was putting a little bit extra on it to move the ball away to find space?
Well, yes and no, but he lost the ball quite a lot doing it.
No, he didn't. I beg to know what you watched. I think he's one of these United fans that dominated us.
No. I'll be honest with you. I've had United fans say Haaland's shit in big games. He doesn't score in big games.
Hey, and they've
blah,
changed
blah.
your viewpoint. This is what happens. You listen to opposition fans way too much.
Well, I watched
You'll
the
be
game
telling me
again
next
yesterday.
show he hasn't scored in 4 games, so he's shit.
Well, he hasn't scored in 4 games.
No one agrees with you, Alan. Nobody on here is agreeing with you, mate.
Alan,
They're all
Alan,
saying,
it's a horrible goal drought, mate. It's a terrible goal drought. Absolutely terrible.
I know.
And those
I think
52 other goals, those 52 other goals are irrelevant right now.
I think it's 1 second. I think it's more than 4 games, to be fair. Alan last.
Anyway, Pat, get us back on the positive, bro, because we have won 2 trophies.
Yeah, we have.
Yep.
Should we talk about the second goal?
Yeah. Do you think De Gea should have saved that?
Yeah.
I was thinking more from the City point of view.
It's true. He should have.
I think he was a little bit unsighted, but yeah. Look, another nice. He sort of scuffed it a little bit, but the intelligence of the man, it was a well placed shot, and maybe De Gea was a little bit unsighted because I think it split between 2 defenders. But he's put it in the right place, and I think the reason why maybe it just fractionally beat De Gea was he seemed to hit it with a lot of overspin too. So again, they're not exactly the easiest sort of shots to gauge, especially when they're bouncing in front of you. But goal's a goal, and picked the right time to score, and I think it was a well timed goal because I just think it just sort of set the tempo, not really set the tempo, but it just gave us that little bit of an edge on anything that they tried to do. And I don't really think in the second half they really started to put any sort of threat until Garnacho came on. Because I said in the preview, I said he does concern me a little bit as a super sub because he is very, very quick, and when he comes on marking like a Kyle Walker, if he started the game against Kyle Walker would probably have him for toast. But after about 60, 70 minutes, he's a tricky little player. But look, overall, yeah, I was happy with the goal, and whether De Gea should have saved it or not is irrelevant now because it's the winning goal.
Let's all be nice to Alan now. Alan's getting pounded here in the corner.
They're all, mate, Martin, don't worry. It's banter. Don't worry. It's only banter.
They're pounding you, mate. Anyway,
guys.
No, to be honest with you, it was off the training ground. From a United point of view, yes, you should have defended it because you don't learn. From the simple fact of Gundogan was unmarked on the edge again. But if you remember, we brought the set piece guy in.
Martin, they've done that a few times, haven't they? Because they did it for Mahrez.
I was just going to say that, Alan. Yes.
As well.
I was going to say that they've in the last few derbies they've been victim to a couple of they've been victim to a couple of set pieces off the training park.
Yeah,
they've been vulnerable.
You're right.
I'll be honest with you. Should the head have saved it? Yes, probably. But there was a lot of people in front of him. It was just bad positioning. The trouble is, and it's the only thing I want to say about United, because we're a City channel, and we're going to big up our crew, not their shit. Let them do it. At the end of the day, David De Gea. You've got Eric Ten Hag or Pep Guardiola from Wish trying to play Pep Guardiola football with a goalkeeper that just cannot do it.
No, he can't do it.
Can't do it. If you look, I honestly thought every time De Gea kicked the ball out, they were crapping themselves. They were scared. He kicked the ball out of touch about 15 times. There was just no product at all. This is what I was saying about the Haaland. When Ortega's kicking it long, Haaland's bringing it down on his chest, turning, flicking on with headers. United had no outlet whatsoever for that. Rashford was literally Trashford yesterday. He was crap.
He's a left-sided player, isn't he?
No, he's not. He's just shit.
Yeah, he's a number 9. He's not a number 9.
He is not good in that United team. They had Bruno on the wing trying to do. Sancho Thank God, what a bullet we missed with that one. Because I tell you what, that ain't the same Jadon Sancho that was at Dortmund. That's his evil twin brother, Jadon Shitshow. Not Sancho, Shitshow. Because that's what he was. Shit, Cho, shit. United, the Bobbins. I'm sorry. People said, bloody were close. No, you're looking at the scoreline and you're looking at a City team that were in second gear, wiping cobwebs away, ready.
Yeah.
If City have wanted to, they'd have upped that 2-3 tempos yesterday and blitzed them.
Well, they should have. They should have done, especially first half. Like you say, Martin, and I think you are 100% right. They've not played well. They've not played together for 4 weeks, and it looked like it first half. I think you're right by that saying that.
But just think, Alan, we won doing that.
I know. But if this was the danger about getting momentum, keeping the same side, like you mentioned, when he messed about with the team, and the last 3 games before, which he did. The momentum slowly went, but hopefully he'll get it back by next week because they played together yesterday or Saturday.
You know what I mean?
So hopefully.
The only player I thought caused us any kind of problems yesterday, Pat, was Garnacho when he came on.
Yeah, he was direct, wasn't he?
But he was the only one trying to have a shot, trying to cause any problems.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. I don't get it. Do you know what it looked like to me? It looked like Ten Hag was more bothered about stopping us winning it than his team winning it.
Yeah.
It was stop City.
He fell into that trap. He fell in that trap of not being a cup winner, but being a trouble stopper.
Yeah. All they cared about yesterday was stopping City winning a treble.
Yeah, that's right. But we got the result that we needed. We got the win. 1 to go now.
Yeah,
that's it.
Sorry, Alan. That's the perfect excuse. Like what Martin said about Ten Hag is, I also hope too, and not hope, but I do believe that our players, when they go into Istanbul next week, they won't be thinking of treble. They'll be thinking, let's win this first Champions League for the club. And then, obviously, as a result of that, a product of that is the treble.
Yeah, exactly.
If you think you're the other way around, mentally, we're already one step behind.
Yeah, just go and win the game, and then if we win the game, then we get the plaudits. As simple as that.
Yeah, play the game like it's the only trophy. Play the game like it's the only trophy we're going to win.
Correct.
Yeah,
and let's hope they play a CDM this time.
Like Ray Furnish played 17 times. De Gea passed it out to us.
Was it 17 times?
That's what I mean. It's just,
well, it's crap. He's a jerk. It's as much as we love Joe Hart, that's what Joe Hart was like.
Well,
shot stopper.
Yeah. That was why Joe Hart went.
Correct. Joe Hart. Yeah,
Tyrone, they are in good form. I agree with you. They won like 11 or 12 in a row. But if City play ball, Tyrone, City win.
It's going to be a cagey game because they're going to play defensive. They're going to play on the counter attack. They're going to fall on the floor every single time that there's a touch of a player. They're going to frustrate us. They're going to slow us down. That's what the Italian teams do, and that's what they will do next week. And we've got to be patient. We have to be patient. We can't lose our right because of it. That's what's going to happen next week, mate. I'll tell you that now.
By the way, there's nearly 150 people on here. If you are new, please smash that like button. Trying to get to over 100 likes. If you are new, we're trying to get to 2,000 likes by the 15th of June. 2,000 likes. 2,000 subscribers.
Yeah, we press the subscribe button as well.
And also, there is an option now. Once you are a subscriber, you can become a member for 99p. What that will do is you will get automatically entered into a prize draw, which will be awarded on the 15th of June to win a signed KDB framed photo. It's about that big. I could get it for you, but it's miles away. If you look on some past videos, I have put it on. It's from Premier Sports in Denton, in Manchester. Comes with a certificate of authentication, and there will also be a signed Bernardo Silva frame as well to give away on that night. So 2 prizes. We pay for all the postage, and 50% of all the income goes to Alzheimer Research UK, and the other half goes into the channel. So it is going to a good cause. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, hit that membership button for 99p, and you are automatically included in the prize draw, and we will send it anywhere around the world, packaged, safely, and everything else at our own cost.
Yeah,
So there you go.
Martin's forcing me to fly over, pick it up, and then fly it to wherever you are. So you're welcome.
There you go. Well, I think that's a good swap. No, definitely not. I mean, what did you make? Because I'll be honest with you, I thought Kevin De Bruyne was a bit off yesterday.
Can I ask you a question, Martin? Tell me what you think. Do you think he's fully fit?
No.
I don't either.
Would it?
That's why he came off for 20 minutes ago.
Here's a question to Bo. Would it surprise you? This was out on the Avengers show. This got mentioned on the Avengers show about an hour ago. Anyone in the chat knows what I'm going to ask now because he was probably there. Would it surprise you at the end of the season when all this is done is that someone comes out and says KDB is carrying a knock?
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I think it's obvious he's carrying a knock.
Because I don't think yesterday he looked with it at all.
No, he's playing through an injury at the moment. He doesn't want to miss finals. He doesn't want to miss next week. It will surprise me he's having the injections, mate. He looks like it.
Evening, Rich.
And he will play. Hey, Rich.
Hello, how are you?
Good, mate.
Hey, Rich. I tell you what, I saw your picture you sent me last night, Rich. And Simon I spoke to Simon after I rang him up, and he looks like a hipster.
Yeah, tell him to get an haircut.
I thought, Jesus Christ. And I rang him up and he answered and I says, are you trying to be Jesus Christ or something? What's going on with your haircut and beard and everything? And he started laughing.
Nah, he's trying to be a heavy metal band. He's trying to be, Ozzy Osbourne.
Jesus Christ, I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
Anyway,
member of Rush or something.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm just about recovering.
Got a parrot, eh? Alan's me parrot. You're all right, Rich. All right, Rich.
Yeah. All right, Rich.
Right. We have some crazy takes tonight, Rich. Haaland was shit. Haaland was shit, according to Alan.
No, he was fine.
Average. There's a difference between average and shit.
United were the better team in parts.
Which part?
I didn't say that. You didn't say that. I didn't say that. You did.
Rich. Hey, Rich, you know exactly where this has come from. Not me or Pat. You know who said all this.
Stop lying, then. I said, I said Alan was average. There's a difference between average and shit.
I can hear Patrick's car. It's Patrick's car.
Is that like one of my breaking news?
Don't mind me, I'm just reversing. That's not,
yeah.
Alan's not hooked up.
Please.
Alan's not hooked up to it.
Please pull over, mate. Have you got your license?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right, Rich, what did you think?
I'm sorry, officer.
What you can remember of it? Rich was very drunk last night.
No, I can remember most of it. Main thing, I kept getting bloody warnings from my watch that my heart rate was too high because I found that a deeply stressful and damaging experience. I was listening to Needham after the game, and he was at the game, and he said he didn't think any of the City or United fans were actually enjoying it. He just said that all game there was like people were so tense, and he didn't think most of the fans on either team actually enjoyed the final. But
no, most of the United fans want to make sure they look good with their new bucket hats.
Rich, I had a great time, mate.
Yeah. I found it quite a.
I've never done the pods now and turn around and be celebrating a goal instantly. Doesn't tend to happen that, mate.
Now I was laughing for them, but it was a pretty tense game. Like, City were better the whole game, no shadow of a doubt. Apart from a little bit at the end where we went 6 at the back, which was quite an interesting formation. And apart from that, I think we're fairly dominant. I do think a few of the players looked like they needed the blowout before next week, though. A few of the players looked a little bit,
Like they've not played together for 4 weeks, Rich.
Yeah, I think it's about 2.5, isn't it? But yeah, they did look a bit like
really
they needed a blowout.
But
they were pretty dominant throughout the game. I mean, it should have been 3 or 4, and that's even allowing for the fact that they should have been down to 10 men. And that would have been, if Casemiro had been sent off as he rightly should, then we'd have probably absolutely blitzed them. And you saw the difference in class when they're having to bring on Weghorst and McTominay to try and catch a game, and we're able to leave world-class players like Mahrez. We're leaving world-class players like Mahrez, Alvarez, etc. on the bench. So I think that showed the difference.
We were sat in the stand when Weghorst came on, and we all went, ooh.
Yeah. So but it was stressful. I think the derby took some of the relaxation and fun out of it, because there's too much jeopardy on the downside. And I think so many City fans I've chatted to in the week before just say I'm really nervous about the weekend. But I think my highlight of the night was United fan. There was a couple of United fans in the pub. I mean, it was like hundreds of City fans, but a couple of United fans, and one next to me said to a City fan they were chatting to, because I think they were in with their boyfriend who was a City fan, and said, well, I'll be quite happy if we lose by a goal and it's respectable. And I just thought, for a United fan to say that, that losing by a goal in a Manchester derby they'd almost be happy with because it's respectable, it just says something about what's happened to that club and the gulf now between the two. Absolutely huge gulf.
You know what I say?
It's only like
no. Go on.
It's only like what we used to be. It's only like what we used to be years and years ago when we went to Old Trafford, hoping if we got a draw, that was like a win for us, which is true.
Yeah, but
I'd never have taken a 1-goal loss. I'd never ever taken a 1-goal loss.
Think about it. We've played them twice this year. On January, when they beat us with a dodgy VAR, they had a bus parade.
Yep.
And they got awarded a little trophy, and they had fireworks. And then yesterday, like I said, they didn't play an FA Cup final. They were playing Let's Stop City winning the treble final. That wasn't an FA Cup final to United. Ten Hag went out and went, stop them winning the treble. The bonus was them winning the FA Cup for it. They have no intention to win that game off their own back yesterday.
I think that's the problem with it being a derby, to be honest, is that every other game you go in it to win it. And I think all that everyone's been worried about in the last week is not losing to United. It's not been winning the FA Cup. Everyone's just been thinking we don't lose to them. And all the United fans, but the ranks are exactly the same. They've been spending all week saying we can't let City win. We can't let City win the treble. We can't let them beat us. So everyone's been so worried about losing. I don't think either set of fans has actually thought about winning. It's just been don't lose. And so it was a weird game like that. And I say it till the 96th minute, I was apart from about 3 minutes laughing at the beginning, where I just could not stop laughing for 3 minutes because their faces, 12 seconds in, their faces were priceless. But after that, it was just like all game. It was just like, because we just didn't get that. We just didn't break through and get that extra goal.
That was
just, the funniest thing about that goal, though.
That's why I said to Martin before.
City Extra, I've just tweeted out, by the way, that apparently Gundogan is set to agree a new deal. It's in the Sun tomorrow. That tells me then it may be Bernardo who's
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, you'd rather lose Bernardo than Gundogan.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, I think Bernardo's
screaming
going.
from the rooftops that you wanted to keep Bernardo, Alan. So what's going on?
No, I think most City fans are thinking we could lose both. So if we keep one of them, that's better
Yeah,
than
I'd rather
losing
keep
both.
Bernardo than Gundo, Rich.
Yeah, but we would like to keep Bernardo, but I don't think it's going to happen. Like Gundo's actually not said himself a single thing about
I'd love to keep
really leaving. The most Gundo's ever done is said he's not certain. Bernardo has said time and time again about, you know, interested in going somewhere new, you know. So I think Gundo staying is a good thing.
No, exactly.
You know,
That's why I kept saying to Alan. Alan thinks Bernardo's never said anything about never going. Said he has. Talks about wanting to play abroad and all that, loads.
He did a 15-minute interview. No, at the World Cup. Just for the World Cup, he did a 15-minute interview.
Thank you. You saw the same interview I did, Rich. I sent it to Alan. It just proves Alan doesn't read my WhatsApp messages.
Do you know the funniest thing after the game? Have you seen Gundo's interview? I think it was with the BBC after the game, where he the commentator says to him, that must have been a real surprise getting a goal that early, and he goes, basically says, not really. We've tried that in about 4 games this season. It was a planned move. So basically that goal in 12 seconds was actually executing a training ground move where they go back and go long to Haaland and hope someone's in the space to get a chance.
I mean, I'm telling you, Bernardo ain't going anywhere, mate.
Celebrate the first goal.
Hang on.
One gone, one at a time, because the noise is all.
Guys, I said, Pep didn't celebrate the first goal.
Mute yourself, mate, because it's not wind.
It's not wind, that's just all the aircraft going over the top of the head.
No, the reason why I think we will lose someone is Kovacic isn't coming in just to sit on the bench continuously. Won't do that.
No, I think we need Kovacic even if no one left. We need another midfielder.
Yeah, but what? I'm Phillips.
If we lose Bernardo, we'll get someone else and Kovacic.
No. What I'm saying is, you're not going to have Kovacic, KDB, Foden, Bernardo, Phillips, Gundogan. It won't work like that. Someone's going to get the nose out of joint that way. Mate.
True, actually, I do think that Foden is going to be a midfielder.
I think somebody's going to end up with it. Someone's going to have to out the door to make way of someone. You can't have 7 midfielders, 8 midfielders.
Yeah. Foden and Kovacic maybe for Bernardo then, and then we're spending big on a right winger.
Pat, I'm going to mute you, mate. Can you mute yourself? It just sounds like you're in the middle of the runway.
Yeah, it's all good, mate. I'm just about to go through security, so I'll jump off. I'll be back in a minute.
All right, mate.
Talk in a bit.
Right, done it.
Blissful.
I think Pat was actually in I think he was on the runway. What
was that film with Billy Bob Thornton, like standing on the runway as the planes come in and then getting thrown in the air? Was it?
I don't know. Armageddon.
something with tin in the name. I'm sure it was like Flying Tin or something.
Oh, no.
But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I want to play. No, I just think I'm with you. I honestly think yesterday was a good sign for the Champions League because for me, it got the cobwebs out of the way. Yeah, you said earlier, Grealish 4 weeks with nothing might have been a problem. This was always my worry. You get a cold Grealish, you get a cold 1 or 2 players that haven't. Because you got to remember, we were living on momentum 5 weeks ago, playing every 3 days. And then the only person who's had no break, sadly, is Rodri, really. And that's because of some idiot who's decided that I don't even know where to go with him anymore. Do you know what I'm going to do with Phillips? I'm going to wait to see where he is next summer. If he's at City, fine. If he's not, fine. I'm just like there with it.
Yeah, no, I think there'll be I think it's interesting. I mean, what has interested me in terms of a signing, because I know it's your dream signing, is lots of rumours out of Germany about Declan Rice being close to signing from Bayern. So if there's any truth in that, then that has to mean that they're going to be losing one of their very senior, central midfielders.
Don't, Rich. That's my dream signing. Yeah. Don't tease me with him. Don't tease me with Joshua.
Yeah, if it's true that Bayern are going in for Rice, it would actually be quite interesting, because obviously Benzema's going. So you'd think Real Madrid are going to have to go and sign Laglieri now, because it's hard to think who else.
Well, I'm going to throw something else to you, Rich. Obviously, a legend has left today. Not Sarah. Real Madrid. Now, apparently Real Madrid have suddenly found some money down the back of the couch. And they're buying everyone this summer now. Harry Kane's coming in for 100 million plus. Then his wages. Bellingham's coming for 100 million plus. Then his wages. Then they're wanting to look at Mbappe on a free. He's going to want £1 million a week. And Real Madrid just suddenly found, like I said, they found some money down the back of a couch.
Yeah, Real Madrid in the last few years, the only significant signing they've made since Hazard is Chimney, who cost about 80 million. They've actually not spent that much money, and they've actually raised quite a lot. I think they've raised something like 400 million in the last 4 or 5 years, selling off guys
doesn't mean
like
you can just go out and
Casemiro.
smack $100 million down in one window, Rich.
If they've got the cash, they could.
No, I don't see it.
Yeah, if they got the cash, they could.
I'll be careful of that, Michael. There's rumours tonight McAllister's going to be announced to Liverpool any day now. That's coming out tonight.
Yeah, that would be an end of a career. He should be going to a team who actually play midfield.
It's not my fault.
Yeah,
I'm not McAllister's agent. What are you blaming me for? I've not sent him over there.
No. I'm just saying that would be a really, really silly move for him. Like, there's probably 30 or 40 teams he could go to, which would be a far smarter move. Or even in the Premier League, going to Arsenal, City, moves that would actually help even Newcastle would be good for his career. Go to Liverpool as a midfielder. I mean, it's like playing for Jack. Yeah. I mean, the best you can do as a midfield at Liverpool is like Andy Townsend when he's playing for Jack Charlton. You can be all right. If you get out wide, you might get the ball as it's going up, but you've got to be pretty versatile with your neck. You've got to be pretty good at watching the ball going over your shoulder. I mean, it's not ideal, I think, for a player who I actually think could be a real quality player.
No, FIFA, I'm not saying no Calvin London out. What I'm saying is that Calvin Phillips is going to have a lot of competition next year. You got to remember where Kovacic plays. He's a 6/8. You know what I mean? This is the problem.
We do need an extra midfielder. We do need an extra midfielder for injuries and an aging midfield, which they are.
Yeah.
But if you want that, you don't bring a 29-year-old in, Alan.
Kelvin Phillips is staying where he is, mate. He's not going anywhere.
Well, why are you his agent? He's
not going anywhere, mate.
Right. So you think then, like, let's list them. We're going to have in the midfield for next season Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden's suddenly now getting used in the midfield, which is what we've always wanted. So there's two. Ilkay Gundogan, if he stays, is 3. Rodri's 4. Calvin Phillips is 5. Who else is Rich?
Yeah.
Bernardo Silva's 6.
He's going.
Kovacic 7. I'm
But
missing
Bernardo's
someone
going.
here.
Bernardo's
And I'm
going
missing
for that
someone.
6.
No, let's do who we've got right now.
You're
There's
missing
7.
Peron.
Then you've got Maxi Perona. McAtee might probably want to come back. So there's 9. Where are they all going, Alan?
I think really your number's really more like 6.
And John
think
Stones
what-
has moved into midfield now, Rich.
John Stones plays at the back and he steps into midfield. And we'll have Kimmich there.
The inverted.
Stones, Kimmich, and Rodri. No one's getting past our midfield.
No, but that's all I'm saying is someone's going to have to depart. And they may even bring another midfielder in yet.
And Yuri Tielemans, no, he's not good enough.
I would look. I'm over the moon with Gundogan staying. My issue is I know what some fans will do next season. The minute Gundogan doesn't do what he's doing this season, oh, he stayed too long. He stayed a year too long. He'll twitch.
Yeah, but the reality is that next season we are not going to get a season where we don't lose a single midfielder injured. And that's the thing. I think next season we'll probably find
Don't need
ourselves
7
players.
though, Rich.
No, but I don't think we have got 7. I think we've got 5 plus Phillips, and I think Phillips might move and someone else comes in and takes that slot.
Rich, no, Alan, we're going off Alan's point of view. They said Phillips is going nowhere.
Well, it's possible. You know, a lot of players have done well in the second season at City.
Correct,
If Pep will know. Pep and the people will have seen in training whether they think Phillips has got what it takes. You know, in terms of technique, in terms of mentality, they'll know it. And you know, it could be that it's fitness and weight and injuries and getting used to it that's the problem. But they may also have concluded Phillips just isn't the right player, and we'll know that probably in June, you know, later in June when the talk starts. Either City will start briefing that he's moving on, or there'll be silence and he's staying, and that means they think he's got a chance of making it.
He's both FIFA. He can play 6 and 8.
He's a bit more of a direct. He's more direct, and Kovacic will run with the ball a lot more, take the ball up through the middle, run with it. He's not really. He's got good technique, keeps the ball really well, but he's not. It's something a little bit different to what we've got.
Charlie, I might agree with you on that, but Pep said he never wanted a big squad.
Pep always says what suits him to say at the time. Always does.
No, I'm telling you now, I think, yes, someone will go. Because in the midfielder, you've got Kevin De Bruyne, Foden, Jack's probably going to be a winger, Ilkay Gundogan, Rodri, Perone, Phillips, Bernardo, Kovacic, and they still want to add another one. You don't need 9 midfielders. 9 midfielders, plus one of them inverts. We have Stones or Rico Lewis that can invert into that midfield role as well. So technically, that makes 9.5 to 10. How much squad depth do you want?
More.
What?
More.
You are going to have problems with players then. So I suppose, listen, I just think someone will leave. Who that will be, I do not know.
Well, they're bringing Kimmich up a lot in the chat. I can't see Kimmich being let go from Bayern Munich, to be honest. Is their best player.
No, if he stays, Daniel will get 2 years.
Yeah, but I think the problem at Bayern is that there's some pretty huge behind the scenes things going on. You know, there's obviously people there who are not happy with Khan. You know, there were a lot of rumours last week that they were going to bin Tuchel. I think winning the league might have saved him. But rumours you're going to bring in a manager like Tuchel and get rid of it. Yeah, you've got rumours about Kimmich. Now Kimmich doesn't even have an agent, so it's not Kimmich's agent putting the rumours out there. It's either coming from him or someone close to him to put rumours out like that. Yeah, he was livid. But apparently Alphonso Davies is unhappy. Pavard's come out and said he's leaving. He's got a year left, and he said he's leaving. He's not going to re-sign. So there's obviously then that Mané's being binned by all accounts. So there's a real battle for power going on in Bayern. There's various factions in there, and there's some players very unhappy with Tuchel and some players very happy. So it's that there might be incomings and outgoings at Bayern this summer that are just not normal.
Question for you, Rich. Would you take Alphonso Davies?
Yes.
I would as well.
Thank you, Girl Arcade, for becoming a channel member. You've been an instant prize show. Thank you very much.
I desperately want a really, really fast fullback because there's going to come a time when we don't have Walker, and I do think having tactically Pep has often used a player in that role over his careers, and Alves was such a great, one of the most successful players under Pep of any position in his career was Alves at Barca. So I actually think he offers something different tactically, and especially when we're able to play three at the back, and we've got Stones inverting, and we've got that solidity. Then having a player like that offers us something different, and he's a hell of a player, and he's so quick.
Can I just answer Charlie? Charlie, you put yes, you do, because KDB doesn't play in the wing. Foden's being used now as a centre midfielder. Kovacic is a 6 and 8. Calvin Phillips is a 6. Rodri is a 6. Stones is inverted from a centre back into a 6. Can't all play 6.
But Pep's always said he wants 10 midfielders in the side.
Oh, Rich, piss off!
You just said 5 minutes ago. It's true, Rich. Rich is right. We want 10 midfield, 5 more midfield players.
Yeah.
But he's not going to do that, though, is he, Alan?
Yeah, but it's quite possible he'll be playing him at fullback, or quite possibly playing him at fullback or whatever.
I would agree with you on Alphonso Davies if we played like we did last season. Now we've changed. Alphonso Davies would have fit.
But we change every season, Martin, and that's the point. The more versatile squad we have,
Rich, not in the training. You don't know whether we are going to change. I know you've got this little thing that you want wingers.
Martin, just listen. A month ago,
you're going to tell me now, Rich, that you're on the training. You're on the training thing. You know,
no, Martin. About 6 weeks ago, you ridiculed my opinion that Kyle Walker would come back and be important in games because we'll do different tactical things. And John Stones could invert from
children be quiet.
Yeah. And that John Stones could invert from centre back and just push up into midfield. And Pep now has those two different things. Pep's played with a fast fullback. He's played with a fullback who can't even defend when we had Cancelo. The more versatility we have, the more Pep is able to A, change in games, or B, use different tactical techniques.
Rich, I was the only one who said 3-2-2-3 is here to stay. You all laughed at me. You went on Pat's old podcast telling me I was talking crap and blah, blah, blah. And we're about to win a treble playing 3-2-2-3.
We've played.
Thank you. Good night, Mike. No,
we've played. We went to back 4 against Arsenal.
Oh,
they hardly inverted at all. No,
you know exactly what I mean.
Our secret, Martin.
Alan, what do you know about football right now?
And against Madrid. Against Bayern, back 4, proper fullbacks most of the game. Against Real Madrid. Yeah, Real Madrid away. We played a lot of that game with the back 4.
No, we didn't.
The fact
is, what are you watching?
No, I'm watching a team who doesn't go into a game with one inflexible game plan because they have a way of playing and never do anything. I'm watching a team who can play. No, listen.
I'm watching football games.
No, we are adaptable. No, we are adaptable and we are capable of playing back four, back three, inverted fullback, centre back pushing into midfield, because we're able to play Bernardo on the wing, not as a winger, but as a flexible player to come back. That is the secret to City. The secret to City is that we're not inflexible like you want us to be. We have different players, we have adaptable players, and we adapt to the game. So if we're playing a team who's attacking us down the flanks, like we were against Bayern, we've got fullbacks defending one-on-one, able to defend properly with two centre-backs in the middle. If we're playing a team where we've got an absolute ton of space, or we need to overload the midfield, we can step players into midfield from fullback or from centre-back. And that is why the more versatility we have in our squad, the better we can adapt and the more things we can do.
Rich, I'll have you back. I'll have you back.
Here. Well said, Richard.
Anyway, he's boring me. Right. We'll have a bet right now that Pep plays 3-2-2-3 next year.
What, every single game?
Most games, yeah.
Every single game?
No.
He won't. Pep won't flex.
Mitch, no. See this. I mean, you sound like a child.
No. I'm not talking. I'm talking like an adult.
Well,
no,
you're not.
You are trying to simplify football into a piece of paper.
Talking to you with my FA coaching badges.
Yeah.
Show me yours.
Martin.
We'll have a chat.
Martin.
Show me your FA coaching badges.
Martin. But you must have done your FA Cup coaching badges in about 1963. Martin, honestly, if you think
not change football
that City, if you think that listen, serious question. Do you honestly believe that when Sky at the beginning of the game shows a formation, that means you play in that formation for the whole game? You're not allowed to change.
Rich.
No. And what about 3-2-4-1 only exists when you're in attack or defence anyway? Because in that formation we go to 4-man in defence the whole time.
Not dumb.
Okay. You really don't.
What is the reason we do 3-2-2-3, Rich?
To overload the midfield when we're at the right times in games.
Well, why is it
to create an overlap?
To last season?
Because we didn't have the players to do what he used to do once Cancelo went and he changed the formation.
Tried to do, but the players couldn't do what he wanted him to do.
Because what happened this season was we lost a midfielder. And so Pep was looking for ways to get that midfielder back, because once we stopped playing a false nine, we lost a midfielder. Pep said it himself. So you know better than Pep.
Rich, right? This is how adults talk.
Pep
Not you
said
shout
it himself.
20 minutes, over talk me, and I don't.
But you don't listen. Yeah, but it's not talking, Martin. You've got to learn to listen. That's the issue. You don't listen.
Rich, I do. You sat there talking about your wingers. You sold all our wingers. You sold all our overlapping fullbacks.
Because
you still sat there telling me.
Martin, because you don't actually understand what a winger is in modern football. You're still thinking of Stanley Matthews in 1954.
Rich, don't go down that road.
You talk about characteristics of a footballer. Yeah, you talk like we're never going to sign a pacey player again, or we're never going to do anything different. Pep adapts. Pep likes flexibility. And if the right players who have the right quality come along, we will continue to adapt like we have every single season. Because if we don't change, if we say we're just 3-2-4-1 now, we're never going to change again, we won't win the league next year, because other teams will figure it out. But Pep is smart. He will keep changing.
Charlie, it's called banter, mate. And I don't need a cheerleader in the background. Alan's 60.
On this week's episode of Fresh Air versus Armchair.
Charlie, if you're going to be a prick, mate, you'll just go in a timeout. Quite simple. Oh, God. Quite simple, Charlie. Nothing to do with that. People can disagree with me all they want.
I've not said.
When I'm shouting,
listen,
no, Alan,
I've
shut
not said
up.
a word.
I'm talking. And I'm getting rather peeved off right now.
We just won the double, Martin.
Now, when people are telling me that my opinion, when I'm the one who does all the damn hours, does all the damn work, and it's, if anyone actually thinks it's my opinion who gets shouted down a lot, it's my opinion who gets shouted down a lot. And I'm getting sick through the back teeth a bit, if you want to be quite simply honest with you. Because I can sit in here and go, if anyone's been right since January, it's been me. I don't do that.
You're right, mate.
I don't do that at all.
Yep. Martin's the one with the fresh air. We're the guys with the armchair. So we can only take.
No, it's not about.
No, but I mean, what you're saying is absolutely right. Yeah. But what happens is when you're at the ground every week, you see things we don't see. So
no,
that's why
I don't sit there cheering on other people on opinions. Have opinions.
100%.
I don't have to be right. I'm not here to be right all the time. But when I get people in the comments saying Martin doesn't like his opinions being wrong and everything else, I don't care. But I just don't think it's very fair back to me when I'm not allowed to speak. So, anyway.
Martin, I've got to bounce anyway, mate, because I've got an airline to run. So, yeah, wish me luck.
Yeah, no, it is.
Just before I go quickly, do we have a rough idea of what time we're doing our preview for the Champions League?
Thursday, I think.
Thursday, okay. All right. Well, I should be settled comfortably in Istanbul by then. So just give me the details, because I may be unreachable from Tuesday onwards.
If you had too much cheering on Saturday night, Pat, you're not going to have any voice by the final.
Possibly, mate. Possibly, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Safe travels.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, everybody in the chat for all your support, and I'll do you proud over in Turkey in a few days' time.
Be safe, though, Pat. Being serious, mate.
Yeah.
I will.
That includes anyone who's going over there. Please be safe.
Yep. Absolutely.
Be safe.
Yeah.
But also, too, mate, look. You know I do, Alan. Amount of stamps in my passport.
Good man.
True.
Anyway, mate. Yeah, look, thanks to everybody out there. We'll speak to you in a couple of days. And Martin, looking forward to a pint this time next week when we're treble winners.
No, listen, right. Let's just disagree to disagree, Rich. Your the opinion will change. I don't think we will. Alan's in the background playing cheerleader with his pom-poms and his little skirt on for some weird reason. I don't know why. Bloody hell. I'm just of the opinion, I think we'll bring in 2 midfielders, which will give us a lot.
I think we'll bring in 2 midfield. We'll bring in 2 midfielders, and we'll bring in a right forward as well.
All right.
Yeah, and listen, if Rich, that happens, you said that back in November to me. So I was wrong on that one. And I hold my hands up. I'll hold my cone on that one.
I've heard this of a few people. The right-sided player, who's going on that side. Is anyone going, or is skipping who we got?
I think Foden's going to go into midfield.
Yeah,
and they'll, and I assume that then means we'll have it to free up a bit of space for Alvarez and I guess Mahrez. He's 32. going to be 32, 33 next season. So I guess they're
How long's
preparing for that.
Mahrez's contract to go? How long's Mahrez's contract to go? Do you remember?
No, I don't know.
It could be
On Twitter, had interaction with him, and it went down.
Did he get a 2-year contract or did he extend by 2? He either signed a 2-year contract or extended by 2.
Called Shake, and he does Twitter Spaces, and he had a bit of an interaction with him because I don't know if anyone noticed, Mahrez didn't celebrate one of the goals or didn't celebrate the full-time whistle, and he tweeted out something about, "Look at this photo. Riyad Mahrez isn't running to celebrate with the rest of the lads. I've heard he's leaving." Riyad Mahrez came back and went, "Don't believe everything you read, blah, 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 blah." Another bit of a go at him.
Because he deleted it, didn't he? Is that because I saw that thing saying I've deleted the tweet after Mahrez took me down, but I never saw the original tweet. I just saw them saying
Have a go at him. I don't know
he's
why.
deleted it. It's obviously a sensitive subject.
Thank you, Wolves F1. Appreciate that. Can City win the treble? Yes, and we will.
Hope so. I'll certainly be a lot more relaxed for the Champions League final than
2025.
That game. So he must have signed a 2-year extension then.
See, this is the thing with Joyce has put here. Kovacic, Gabardio, keep Bernardo, bring back McAtee, and you've got Gundogan re-signing. Pep's just going to end up with an headache by the end of that game.
We still need we need at least one more midfielder than we've had this season.
And you've still got, what are you doing with Peroni?
I'd have him going out on loan. McAtee depends what he wants and what they think physically, etc. he needs. I mean, my gut reaction says you send him back to Sheffield United to get a season in the Premier League under his belt. Unless they think, he is really good enough to play, I think another season could be good. But, loans haven't always worked for us. But that one, Sheffield United have done the right thing by us and the players. And therefore, I think if McAtee stayed there, if he stays fit, he'd get the 38 games. And I think that's 38 games in the Premier League would be fantastic for the lad.
Just looking to say how long he is.
And Paul Tierney should be bloody banned from refereeing. That refereeing was so bad. Because we won, we're not all talking about it, but some, Casemiro should have been off. And I know the penalty, perhaps it's the rules, not the refereeing, but they've got to sort out this handball nonsense. We had one the other week where, was it against Leipzig, where it touched his arm, touched his shirt sleeve or something, and we get a penalty, and that's the rules of the game.
Have you seen this tonight? There's all sorts going on. McAtee's due to sign a new contract. Gundogan is.
Yeah.
Haaland's due to sign a new contract. We're just not buying anyone then this summer. We're just extending contracts.
Yep.
Yeah, but McAtee's already got 5 years left on his contract anyway. He signed a 6-year deal, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
More
money.
Daniel's poor. Peroni going nowhere. Keep him. Again, where though? This is my thing. I know Pep said tongue-in-cheek 11 midfielders. You ain't going to get 11 midfielders. That was tongue-in-cheek. He's not going to do it.
I think
the point earlier about the 3 at the back.
We need 6.
He's always wanted to do 3 at the back, in my opinion, going back to Leon. When he played Eric Garcia at the back. And it was
I hope Pep signs another contract.
I just don't know.
That's the most important thing, is getting Pep to sign a longer-term contract for me.
Yeah.
Keep him, because as long as we've got him, mate,
to
worry about.
I've always thought the biggest worry with Pep is if we win the treble. When that happens, he's done everything.
Yeah.
So that'll be the week after if we win next week, the week after, I think everyone's going to be a bit nervous around the club.
What?
Because when we if we win the treble, Pep has done it all at City.
He hasn't won away at Tottenham.
Well, no, he has, but not at the new stadium. I was there when we beat that true.
Hasn't
we beat Tottenham away in the Centurion season.
Right, think of it this way, Rich and Alan. Him and Fergie have both done a 3-peat. No one's ever done a 4-peat.
True.
This is the problem.
Get to 14 Premier League wins. 14 Premier League wins.
No English club's ever won the double-double.
The only thing on this, Daniel, I remember Peroni saying when he first signed, and I think there's quotes to this, I only signed for City because I was told I wasn't going to go out on loan.
Do you think
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Do you think City signed Peroni as well because of a reaction to not signing Enzo? Because we were offered Enzo 40 million and City turned him down because they didn't see how he was going to get the minutes.
Pep leave after Saturday night.
Are you part of Oaks?
Me? No.
No, Rich.
I never said Pep's going to leave. Hang on, I never said Pep's going to leave.
No, you see, no, I'd be more a Doyle.
No, because you told me once, Rich.
Doyle Gow. Doyle Gow would be me.
Barnes Stewart.
See, Andrew's saying there's no Andrew.
Long before me.
It's for us commoners who can't get out to Istanbul, the parade, mate. You're seeing it live in Istanbul. Get off.
Hard life.
The parade's for us who can't get there. Oh God, we could win the World Club Super. Yeah, I know. Let's not go down that road when we're playing. The Seville one's good, but then we play the Candlestick Makers and everyone else, don't we?
We'll probably lose in the Charity Shield and ruin it all.
Playing Arsenal in the Charity Shield now.
I know.
Is it Arsenal?
Yeah, because United didn't win it, so it goes to the second place team.
Second in the league. That makes sense, yeah.
The Super League's in Greece. Where in Greece? Valaraka.
Athens.
No, it needs to be in Valaraka.
I
think I'm banned from Valaraka.
Are you banned from Veronica's?
No, I didn't go in Veronica's.
I still love the fact that Vader thought Veronica's was your missus.
No, do you know what it was? I was in a place called Princess Dies, which is at a place called The Patch. Charlie might know it. He's been a place called The Patch and Princess Dies, which is very good. Sources saying they might cancel. Here's a question. City don't win on Sunday and Saturday. Is it a failure?
In terms of
that match, yeah.
No, because that's going to be the question. Is it a failure of a season? Because that's what I'm worried about here. Is that the Premier League and FA Cup is going to be absolutely made to feel second rate.
I think it's the trouble, Martin, of immediacy and the order of the games. If we went out of the Champions League in the last 8 and then you went on and won the double, you'd finish the season winning the league, winning the FA Cup. You'd finish the season on an absolutely massive high. and it would be a big success. But the reality is, if you win the double and then you go to the final of the Champions League and you lose that, you end the season on a losing note and you end the season on a downer. So they're both exactly the same thing, but the order something happens and how it happens can make it quite a different, emotional feeling. So I think there's no question, if we lose to Inter, the players will be down, Pep will be down, the fans will be down, and for a short time after, everyone is going to feel like it wasn't a good season, even though I think you can count on two hands how many doubles have been done in the history of English football. I mean, United haven't done a double for a couple of decades. Arsenal, Liverpool, it's like 30 odd years since they've done a double. Chelsea, Mourinho never achieved a double at Chelsea. So it's a big deal. Then you have to go back to like
it was Ancelotti. It was Ancelotti.
Yeah, he got the double. Yeah, Mourinho never got one.
This
So
is like Brad says, put here though. Sources are saying they might cancel the parade if we lose the Champions League. So that's what I'm saying. Is the Premier League and FA Cup like tosh?
Yeah, I think you almost have to, you maybe change when you have it or something. But that's the problem, is that the order of the games and the way it all falls means that at the end of the season, if we only win the double, and I know this sounds daft, there'll be a lot of fans who'll be short term are going to be gutted because we lost the last game. But if you change the order of those games and you go out in the last eight of the Champions League, we'd all be, the season would now be over. We'd all be flying and celebrating. We just won the double. We've only, is it second double in our history? Something we've only done twice, and there's only it's
third.
No, I think it's second in it.
It's right, double as in Premier League and FA Cup.
The FA Cup, yeah, that's the double.
Right. I forgot to say, because Pellegrini did it, but it's with the Carabao Cup.
And I think Ferguson only won a couple of them. It's not like Ferguson won 10 doubles. I think Wenger got one. Mourinho never got one. Bob Paisley, I think, was, or was it Dalglish got one and Paisley, but some of Liverpool's great managers didn't get them. It's not easy. It's not something that happens a lot. And something else that has happened this season, I thought was a great stat, which I haven't actually been able to fully verify, but City now apparently in English football have the biggest span of history of trophies. So if you take the date of our first, was it 1904 when we won the FA Cup, or was it 03-04? I think it was. We won the FA Cup to today. So that's 119 years or whatever. That is the biggest span in English football between trophies. So we are now the history club. We can now say our span. I think Blackburn. Yeah, I think Blackburn held it. Actually, we've got a great. So if you want to look at City cheating, you go back to the Billy Meredith days when we were paying over £4 a week was the salary cap, and we were paying all for it, and then we had to auction off our players in the pub or something like that. And United came in, signed 5 City players, and then go and win I think it was their first title with about 5 City players playing for them, who they bought in the pub at auction. That's the true history of Manchester football.
And I know I asked it, but the trouble is those are the questions that will come up this week.
Yeah.
So it is inevitable. Thank you so much.
I will be. I will be devastated if we get beat on Saturday. I'll be honest with you.
I know, but my only thing with that, I need to read this out. UCL is most wanted. Both Pep and City called it massive letdown.
Yeah, it is.
I get that. I get that. But, Mike, again, I get that. But what I'm saying, Llewellyn, is you're saying that every season is going to be a failure if we don't win the Champions League.
The target is the Champions League now.
So every season's a failure.
Well, at the moment, because we haven't won one, which we haven't, the target at the club number one target is the Champions League, without any doubt.
Is Arsenal a failure of a football club because they've never won it?
No, because their target is to win the league again.
But they're an FA Cup specialist.
This is what
Arsenal.
I'm saying. It's very.
But
it's a
Martin,
very
it's all about
silly
it's
question.
all about it's all about how it happens. Like take golf or tennis, right? The holy grail of golf or tennis is the Grand Slam. Is winning all four. If you lose in Australia and then you go and win the French Open, Wimbledon, the US Open, you leave the season, the year ends on a high. You've had an amazing season. But if you win in Australia, you then win Wimbledon and the French Open, and you lose the US Open, you'll be gutted because you were one game away from being an immortal in the sport. Same with golf. If you go and lose, is it the US PGA? It's the last one. If you lose that and you've won the other three, you'd be devastated. But if you lost the US Masters and you won the other three, you'd be on an absolute high. And that's just the reality. You've achieved the same thing, but falling at the final hurdle is gutting because it was within your grasp. If you fall at the first hurdle, you never had a chance. So you don't. All you look at is what you've done right.
When they got Pep, when they brought Pep in, their target was completely obvious, and they admitted it, is to go for the Champions League and win it, and they have to win it until they win it. And you'll love this, Martin, and people you'll love this. When we win it, and the word is when we win it, you watch the world fan base increase by a lot.
Alan, Alan, I have no problem with the world fan base. All I ever ask is learn Manchester City history. Don't jump on the Manchester City bandwagon. And then when I say to you, who's Colin Bell? And they go, who's that?
I agree with you. Totally. I agree. I totally 100% agree with you.
Not just City fans, but all fans. There's nothing, honestly, there's nothing worse than
And say to them, you know who Sir Matt Busby is, they get lynched. Go to Liverpool, don't know who Kenny Dalglish is, they get lynched.
But there's a lot of Liverpool and United fans who don't know their history that well.
And they're glory hunters, Rich.
Yeah. But that's what annoys me. I mean, is fans who just who don't know about not just themselves but other clubs as well. Because there's plenty of other clubs.
You can say the same thing about Rich. You can say the same thing about Chelsea. You watched Rivers when they won the league for the first time. What happened to their club? Enormous, everywhere around the world.
Yeah.
Sorry, by the way, I'm just playing around with different things.
I've heard City fans say Chelsea have no history, but before World War II, there were many years Chelsea had the most fans go to their games in the country.
Chelsea had no fans in the 80s.
Yeah, but they did have fans in the 20s and 30s. So
in the 90s.
Yeah,
I've heard City fans do it to other clubs. I've heard City fans saying to Everton, "You've got no history." Now Everton have got a history, arguably
got a rich history
of. Yeah, they've arguably got one of the longest, richest histories in the game. And I think for me, it's always been that fans don't understand the difference between success and history. History is a period of time. There's clubs with amazing history who've never won the top flight, who've never won the FA Cup, but they've still got an amazing history as a club. But there's. I mean, Wrexham got an amazing history.
Even Spurs have got history. Even Spurs have got history. Even Spurs have
failure.
Spurs have got a huge history. Villa, a club with Blackburn. Sunderland won the top division 6 times. Sunderland were their dominant biggest team in English football. Blackburn, one of the original teams. Bury.
Black.
By the way, did anyone notice after all the footballers that were down in Spain today watching the Grand Prix? Mason Mount was there, Chilwell was there, Laporte was there, Gnabry was there. They were all there. Mbappe was there.
Wow. I wonder if Mbappe is going to leave and go to Madrid.
Yeah, he will do. Anyway, we're going to leave it there because I'm tired. I'm nearly up 2 hours.
All right, Martin.
Anyway, final thoughts,
1
gentlemen?
week to go. The final
One
thoughts
to go,
are,
boys. One to go.
Yeah.
Be excited. I'm excited.
Let's just get it over with. Can we just
final
get it
week
over
of the
with?
season. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that
I'm not as nervous about that as I was when we were playing United. Christ, I was nervous.
Yeah, I'm about 10 times calmer this week than I was about the FA Cup.
Oh, this is the thing with this. It's all the build-up.
I know.
Oh no, I can this week. The other thing is that because I'm not going, I'm not getting like the problem with the FA Cup was I was up at 6 a.m. and then you've got an 18-hour wait till kickoff. So you've got the longest day and it's still 15 hours to go, still 12 hours to go. Whereas because the Champions League's at 5 a.m. here, I'm just going to have to go and get some sleep. So I'm going to get up, share an Uber into town, and
are you going in with Simon?
The start. Yeah, we're going with them.
And Spence, yeah.
All right, it's nice to know everyone's all available for the channel on Saturday at some stage.
Well, the thing, Martin, the thing is, I've delayed my flight now, thank God, till just to Tassie till 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday, which is obviously the same day as when the finals on, because it's Sunday morning when the finals on for us at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'll be on the plane at 3:30 in the afternoon. So there you go.
Yeah, but that would mean Martin doing a 6:30 a.m. show post match, which isn't going to happen. So I don't think you need to worry about that.
No, exactly.
Yeah, it looks like Gundo is definitely staying. Everyone's now starting to break it.
Good. Well, so you obviously got a 2-year extension. You can't not give him another.
Well, we don't know yet. We'll just say. Obviously, it's not fully done. If it does break, I might come back tomorrow and do something. If not, the Tuesday. There's going to be. I'll probably do something Tuesday. To start our build up, because I don't think there's any media stuff, because the players have got today and tomorrow. They've got 2 days off. The press conference, I think, will be Wednesday or Thursday. They're flying out to Turkey on Thursday.
Yeah, afternoon, isn't it?
No, they're going in the morning.
Are they?
Yeah, Fabrizio's just tweeted. I'm just trying to see what he's just tweeted. Right here. This is what Fabrizio has tweeted. So, hang fire. Manchester City proposal to Gundogan remains valid. New deal until June 2024, plus an option for a further season. Offered 2 weeks ago. Manchester City are waiting for final feedback and decision.
Okay, fair enough.
So hang on a minute. That's not signing anything.
They've given him an option, and they're giving themselves an option to start re-signing, depending on how he is.
So everyone's jumped now on he's re-signing. Fabrizio has just said the contract's been on offer for 2 weeks. So we'll see.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. He won't decide. He won't decide anything until after next week.
You want my honest opinion? I think if we win the Champions League, he will leave.
Possible.
If we win the Champions League, what?
I think if we win it, he will leave.
1 second, I'll be back.
He'll have nothing else to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think if we win the Champions League, he goes.
On a high.
Because there's something not quite there. if he was definitely 100% going to stay, he'd have signed this 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He's hanging on for
something.
something. There's something,
Yeah.
and I do think Barcelona have offered him, because managing Barca, somebody else came out yesterday and said it's all agreed he's off to Barca. So we'll have to wait and see.
And the problem with that is that anyone who agrees to, sign for Barca might have to wait about 5 months before they can register the contract, because Barca, they've had players who haven't, they've still got the Gavi situation to sort out, haven't they? They've still got, to do stuff to register that. So they're just, and that's the problem. They thought they were going to, get Bernardo. That apparently Barca actually thought Bernardo was pretty much done, and then they weren't allowed to make a signing. They didn't have any money, and they weren't, allowed to register players. So they're just a mess of a club. And that, by all accounts, this summer they think they're going to be able to sign all these players, but it's because they think someone's going to pay 100 million for Ansu Fati, and someone's going to pay 60 million for Ferran Torres and stuff like that. Or someone's going to pay 30 million for Garcia. They're in a fantasy world.
I don't get this Madrid thing. Yeah, they might get Bellingham, but you speak to anyone in Germany, there's no deal gone to them. Madrid are not going to sign 5 top superstars. They're not going to do it.
There's some quite worrying rumours about Bellingham, actually, that he's, that the knee's had strapped quite a bit this season. Isn't the knee that's injured now? It's not the knee that kept him out of the game. Yeah. So apparently there's quite a few concerns that maybe the deal will fall through on the fitness test, because apparently it's not fully diagnosed, which is why the press is a bit quiet on it as to what's wrong with his knee.
I can't see Bayern Munich letting him go, mate. He's the best player. That would be just committing suicide.
Barcelona letting Messi go.
Well, Messi's 36, isn't he?
Wasn't when he left.
They didn't have a choice. They couldn't register his contract.
No choice for financial
what I'm
reasons.
saying is, do you not think? Would you have ever seen players leave City? Sané leave City.
Well, Sané left because he didn't. Mate, he only played after.
That's what I mean. You don't know what's going on. You don't know.
At Bayern, if Kimmich has fallen out with Uli Hoeneß, even though he's supposedly out of the club, but he runs the club. If something like that happens, then yeah, because Bayern is a political club and there's stuff going on. And if it suits the people in power in a club to get rid of someone because they think they're becoming too powerful, they'll go. Same with Ferguson at United. There were so many players they binned when, it happened with Paul Ince, happened with Jaap Stam, happened with Van Nistelrooy, where you thought there's no way they'd let that player go. But once they, were trying to challenge Ferguson or causing any issue with team unity, Ferguson's like, no, you're gone. It was Ince, wasn't it? Ince was started to try and get some of the players to call him governor. And like Ferguson says, there's only one governor here, right? You off. And he's sold.
Remember that story with Lee Sharp? No, sorry, Ryan Giggs. Ryan Giggs was on form.
When he was hiding in the cupboard.
All them lads went, go into Fergie, ask him for a club car. Go and get a club car out of him. They'll buy you a car. You're doing really good. You're in the first team now. And he walked in and all the players were outside laughing, listening. And he went, boss, I'm in the team. I think you should give me a club car. He went, club car? You're not getting a club fucking bike. Get out of my office. Got out and they were all pissing the sides when he walked out. It's like you hear it all the time about when Lee Sharp had that party. You probably all heard this. Lee Sharp was having that big parties. Ferguson was having a party. Ferguson left his party to go and shut down Lee Sharp's party and then went back to his own party. They were like, there's only one boss. And you ain't
didn't he walk out the party with Ryan Giggs holding him by the ear?
Yeah.
Dragged him out the party.
Yeah. There's only one boss. Super City's here. Look at this. I think Kovacic and Bellingham to City is announced after the Champions League final. Bernardo and Gundo to leave.
Bellingham. I can't see Bellingham. Sorry, but I can't.
Well, I'm going to read this
Yeah,
out because Wolves has given us some money tonight, which is very appreciated. And you didn't even have to because you're not even a City fan. I appreciate it. Rich appreciate it. Ozzy appreciates it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so does Alan. But when he's not
Thank
sat
you.
there with his pom-poms and miniskirt on. FFP should be deleted. I'm fed up that Man U protection. They have the privilege to spend money, but even billionaire owners, they are saying Luton, Bournemouth, Wolves are allowed to spend just 50 million in one window. And you know what? I get what you're saying, especially at your club, because you're probably going to lose your manager over it and your best players because you're now in financial limbo. It's really weird how some of these other clubs are now. Everton are in trouble. Wolves are now in trouble. Leicester are in trouble. Southampton, I've heard on the grapevine, going down is a bad thing for them.
Yeah. Oh, and they look at the Premier League going after Newcastle now. I mean, it's interesting. Apparently, Chelsea as well have changed their tune because I suspect they know what their books are going to be like in a couple of years after this summer.
Not that they haven't got Europe.
Well, yeah, I think they've got all this amortization, about 120 million a year over the next 5 years coming through. So, by all accounts, a few years back, most of the Premier League was quite supportive of essentially the four clubs who drove it all: United, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Spurs. But apparently now they're becoming a bit more isolated, and there's quite a few more Premier League owners who actually want real equality, not built in, we've got the most equality, because what they don't want equality, they just want to be the top four richest club.
I like that.
No, but there are.
Told you he's like a parrot, Rich.
Yeah, but that's the thing. At the moment, United, Liverpool, and Arsenal want a rule. I don't know why Spurs want it because they don't get European money anyway. But those three clubs want a rule, which means that they're guaranteed to be the three richest teams every season. And they have. I don't know about Arsenal, but certainly Liverpool, United have the most fans of any team, and the most press readers. And
I don't have an issue with FFP, Rich. What I have an issue with is it's not being used for what it was brought in for. Been manipulated to something else.
Martin, it's been used for exactly what it's brought in for. It's brought in by the G14
right, then.
to guarantee.
Yeah, you're going down the unofficial line. I know. Yes, the real reason when you peel it back is there. I get that. But the official party line was to stop Bury FC happening and all that other stuff. But
it was never about that. It was never
about that. Because what makes me laugh is, and you two know this as business owners, when you first buy business or you're an upstart business, the first thing you do, you go and you look at all your contacts in your phone, or you have a little black book or whatever you have, you'll have a list of contacts. The reason why you have them contacts is they are the people that you can count on straight away to come and help. You don't have to it's networking, but networking with their privilege, if you get what I mean, because you already know the people. It's how any business begins. And then as you get that ball rolling, the first year anyway, there's not any business probably out there that makes money in the first year. You've got running costs and everything else that has to go into it. And then what's the average? 2 to 3 years before you start making a profit?
For a very large company, a lot longer than that. But
there you go.
If you're running your local trading business, it'll be
ever going to catch United, Liverpool, Chelsea at the time without investing?
Well, Chelsea had to invest in it, let's be honest.
No, exactly. So, say Sunderland got taken over. For example, Gary Neville. Do you know why Gary Neville is against FFP?
Because he's got Salford City.
Yes, everyone thinks it's because he's this great politician who's going to be talking great stuff. No, it's because
The
he
mayor of
owns
Manchester.
City. And he knows when he gets to the Premier League, he can't go bing bang bosh with all my money.
You can't do that now.
Newcastle, I was listening to a Newcastle channel. They went, we're going to get Osimhen at Napoli, 130 million, and then we'll get his wages. That's your transfer budget gone then. No, but we're in the Champions League. You spend 300 million. Not necessarily you can't, because that includes your wages. That's not just, they think that 300 million is just all transfer money.
No.
There's a wage in there as well.
But I think
the sooner the white paper comes out and the government start regulating everything, the better. I'll be honest with you.
I think Newcastle will spend in the low 200s, and I think they'll do that.
Is that with wages, Rich?
No, I think they'll do that on transfer fees. They'll spend.
So how do they pay the big fees then? How do they pay the big wages?
Because financially next year they're going to gain at least 150 million a year in.
But it doesn't come in for
turnover.
another year. This other thing, Rich. Do you think?
No. It will hit in next year's books.
Yeah, next year's. Not this year's.
Next year's books. Yes, but
March.
But no, it's not. Their financial year, I think. They will do. They have books.
Rich,
that are matched
I don't mean to try and be an argumentative sort of that. I'm not. But for example, we got rid of Lavia and all them. They're not on our books until March of next year.
No, our books are July to June, and they.
Yeah, but they're not on. Yeah, but what I'm saying.
Yes, but we're measured. Yes, but our books are fine. So Newcastle, if they spend that money. Martin, Martin, this is my living, right?
I know it's your living, but I know it's a year.
They will have that. Their revenue will relate to next season, and their signings will relate to next season. Cash flow will be irrelevant to them because they will be able to
they're still under FFP.
As much cash. No, cash flow's got nothing to do with FFP. Cash flow is the function of cash coming in the business so you can pay for things.
Correct.
It's not related to the P&L. So they will get from Champions League money, assuming they get to the knockout stage, they're going to get what? 70, 80 million probably, because they won't get as much as City.
What City are going to make out of it?
They get a lot less than us because of the stupid rules that mean
they get less than United, and United weren't even in it last season, Rich.
Yeah, we'll earn more if we go out in the group stage. They will.
Here's a question for you, Rich.
They get
Who is the lowest ranked coefficient club in the Champions League next season?
I've got no idea who half the clubs in it. It's at Newcastle, so they're going to be in pot 4.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
This is what I'm saying. This is not a straight run like they're all saying.
No, but they will get at least from the Premier League money that they're going to get this season and from sponsors and Champions League, they will get 150 million. So even to stay, I don't know whether they'll turn a profit this year. I don't know what their books are like. But if they were, for example, able therefore to spend 150 million, even if, let's say, you have to spend as much on wages as you do on, amortization, then that 150 million a year, 4 years is 600 million. So that's still, 150 million a season. So that still says they could go out and spend 250 if it's over 4 or 5 year deals.
I'll tell you why, Rich, because their owners have come out and said that they want to follow FFP to the law.
Yeah, I'm talking about keeping to FFP.
Yeah, I know, but it's very different now, FFP. No club can do what we did, Rich.
No, they can't. But we did it before FFP existed.
Because for start off, you've now got this new UEFA rule where you're not allowed to lose more than 30% of your revenue.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll need. They've got enough with all that extra money. They'll have, depending on how many deals they've got to renew and stuff. I think they'll be able to spend over 200 million this summer.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think where we're debating is, I think that will be with wages as well.
No, I reckon transfer fees we'll see them. I reckon you're going to see 6 clubs minimum spending 100 million plus in the Premier League this summer. I think you're going to see Arsenal spending up at that level.
Do you know what Newcastle's profit to wage turnover is?
No.
He's over the limit.
But I think they'll.
Well, this is what I'm saying, Rich. Doesn't matter what you're saying to me, they're over the limit.
Yes,
they've got to actually get some of that down. So some of that money's coming in will have to go to that before it can go to money of players.
We'll see. We'll see.
I know you think UEFA are going to back out of these rules and won't apply them very much.
No, I don't. I just think that there is, unfortunately, as we're seeing with City, there's ways that things can be done.
See, look, Newcastle have a lot of butt losses from Mike Ashley. Because I was talking to him at Newcastle, they're still suffering from the Mike Ashley days. You don't make a profit at all. So this is what I'm saying. I don't think
they were massively under leveraged. You know, they were getting like about a fifth of what they should have been getting for calling it the Sports Direct Stadium. They were getting about a fifth of what was a fair value amount. They were being run by basically a bloody market trading. You know, Mike Ashley was a glorified market trader, and their actual commercial running of the club was appalling. And they've now got the ability to probably up their sponsorship and kit money in the season by 75 million plus on what they were getting before, chucking Champions League money, chucking the extra Premier League money. And you can see a quite quick path to them increasing their turnover by 150 million to 200 million. And that makes
I've got the wage bill difference. I'm just trying to see now where they actually are. I'm going to get it up because I'm intrigued. We're going to do a show on that one. But I'm intrigued about this. It's this. Listen, I know that's your job. I'm not disagreeing with that, Rich. The point I'm saying is this new rule they've come in with. Not many clubs. I don't know how Chelsea are going to get around it.
Yeah.
How Chelsea get around it,
with 8-year deals, but I don't think that's going to be allowed.
That's banned now. You aim for a ban on them now, aren't they?
Exactly.
So this is the problem. You've got. I think the first year has to be 70. The first year can have 90% with a 10% loss. Second year is 80% with a 20% loss. Third year is 70%. You've got to have been making. You can't break more than 70% of your wage to turnover.
They're changing the FFP rules in the Premier League and the UEFA every single year to stop teams.
No, but they're changing this now, and this is what I'm saying. I'm not disputing Newcastle won't spend money, Rich. I'm saying they can't go and spend 140 on one player and then whack out his wages and then continue spending again. They won't be allowed to do that.
We'll see.
Well, if they're following the rules, Rich, they won't.
Yeah, but you know, Newcastle, they'll be away. There'll be some.
I know you've got a little soft spot. No.
I'm just saying, right? That
likes Newcastle, does Rich?
It's so murky.
I don't mind Newcastle either.
Fair play. It is so murky, and it is almost impossible when you've got a country behind a football club like Newcastle have. No. How on earth are they ever going to police it? Because the influence Saudi Arabia can have influence on a company or a business that is totally unrelated in any actual legal structural way to Saudi Arabia to sponsor or do things for Newcastle. And there is no way the Premier League can stop that. We've got Nexon Tyres, who are one of our sponsors, completely unconnected in any way to UAE when they sponsored us. But 6 months later, they got investment from UAE Sovereign Wealth Fund. Right? So officially, legally, and in every way completely unconnected. But does that not suggest to you quiet conversations are had in rooms that allow things to happen? And I just, when most European countries and a lot of businesses are making hundreds of millions trading with Saudi Arabia, some companies tens of billions, how on earth are you not going to have, ways that cannot, that FFP can actually deal with? What happens if, one of the big oil companies, BP or someone, sponsored Newcastle? No relationship to Saudi Arabia, but would that be done without some kind of? And that's the problem. That's what will happen. That's what will happen now. There will be more and more. When you've got a state running a club, there is no way that they will be able to put in place rules that Newcastle can't get around.
See, I'm not. Listen, I
No
like
way.
Newcastle, and I hope Newcastle do very well. I just disagree with Rich that they'll be able to spend as quick as they think they will if UEFA put these new laws in. Depends what UEFA do. And I think what Rich is saying, reading between the lines, is I don't think Rich believes UEFA will do what they say they're going to do.
I think
No, I
UEFA have got.
I think Newcastle will get round it.
Yeah.
All right, then. Get round it or UEFA won't do it. Same thing. They're going to get round it in your eyes.
I think that no. I think they'll get round it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like
Don't say us, Rich.
No. With us, we're getting round it.
Yeah, because we are.
I think all the Premier League's corrupt. No, I just don't like it when I see teams like Wolves getting investigated. I just don't get it. I ain't scared of them at all, mate. Trust me. They've done very well. But I honestly think Eddie Howe, I don't see Eddie Howe being long term at Newcastle.
There's only two ways that football should be, where either you have a rule which caps spending and caps everything exactly the same for everyone, like you do in sports like rugby league, in some of the US sports, where you say every team, there's a $200 million wage cap and there's a $100 million spending cap, and you make it the same for everyone, or you have a free-for-all. What you can't have is rules that are designed to favour some over others. It has to be completely fair, either because it's completely capitalist or it's completely egalitarian. But you cannot have what Arsenal, United and Liverpool want, which is a rule designed to favour 3 or 4 clubs and penalise the other 16. That is what's wrong. Now, most clubs would probably rather have everyone capped out level, because they'd say, well, it's not fair. City spend 3 times as much as us. True. Most clubs would probably have that. That would help Bournemouth and, Brentford and everyone else compete on a almost level field. Or you go free for all, and then Newcastle could go and spend $500 million or whatever they would if there were no rules. What you can't have is this G14 cartel put in place rules to help us and screw everyone else, because that is where it's wrong.
And that's what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. And it was G14, and I just think now the problem is, and this might become a much bigger problem for the game, because I just don't see how you can regulate to stop Newcastle.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think there's any.
I'm just looking at this now. 1 minute, I'm just looking at some, because there's radical changes to spending cap. See, they're trying to. You got to remember, they're trying to put spending caps in now and everything. There's a lot of. I don't know how to do it. It's very weird how to say it, but there's a lot of things trying to come into place to stop different clubs.
They've got to be careful, UEFA, that they don't commit suicide and drop every single club apart from the elite in the shit. Because if they do that,
Super League, isn't it?
A lot of clubs at risk of going out of business.
Yeah,
be very careful how they do this.
So the UK, I think I can't remember the figures, but I think the UK exports something like 20 billion or something a year to Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia, that is tens and tens thousands of jobs, maybe hundreds of thousands. I'm not sure, But that is all those jobs, and a lot of those are highly skilled, highly trained jobs in engineering, in manufacturing, in things like that. You know, and so you've now got this issue where, you know,
it's right, baby.
You've got sovereign issues coming into it. It's like if the you've got to think, if the Premier League actually called Khaldun a crook, the damage that would do to the UK and UK jobs and jobs in Manchester and everything else, it's huge, because basically you are talking about one of the most senior economic figures in a country that spends billions a year on UK exports and invests billions a year in UK businesses. So if you call that person a crook, you are creating actually creating an international incident between the UK and a big trading partner, but also at the moment, a massively strategic partner, because the UK and US are fighting for countries like UAE and Saudi with the Russians. The Russians want them in their camp. The Americans and the British want them in, you know, the camp with the West. So you're actually doing things that could interfere with geopolitics. And that's the problem with what the game's become now. And, you know, whatever it is with City, with Newcastle, it's going to be, you know, 5 times worse, because Saudi Arabia is much, much richer, much, much more important in trade, and much, much more important strategically because of the oil they've got. So it is, you know, it's not great for football, but neither is American franchises running at a profit and wanting a closed shop so that they can guarantee profit. Both of those things are bad for football, probably.
Anyway, we've totally took a left turn here.
We need to get back to TV. We need to get back to like butchers and TV repairman at owning.
At the end of the day,
Manchester clubs.
I'm sorry for the
toilet paper. Then you're like very late.
Listen, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Listen, we're going to end there. Otherwise, we'll be still late at 4 in the morning.
Oh, dear me. Right, I'm going to go because I've got work to do. It's 9 o'clock.
Well, let me end the show, Alan. Hang on.
Sorry.
Right, anyway, thank you all for joining us. If you've not hit the like button, please do. If you've not hit that subscribe button, please do. Big thank you to Alan for joining us and for Rich. Cheers, gentlemen.
I was late this morning.
One day, me and Rich are going to have a show where we don't argue.
It's all part of the fun.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It was you cheerleading on in the background that wound it all up. Come on, go on, Rich. You know them kids. Remember these children that used to have a fight in the playground, and you always get that one mate in the background going, go on, hit him. That's him. That's him down there.
Oh.
Anyway.
When a dog agrees.
Manchester City have won 2 out of 3.
Get in.
Third one is Saturday. There will be a live watch along. There will be build-ups. There will be everything, because sadly, I am not going to Istanbul. But there will be a live watch along. We're hoping to hit 2,000 on that night. So that would be amazing. We will do a post-match show. Rich will come on pissed if he has to. He doesn't care.
I'll come on pissed as well. In the morning, I'll come on if we do.
Rich, you're going to come on pissed either way, aren't you, mate? If we win.
Mate, I'm going to be in the pub in the Imperial.
Bring Simon on. We all want to see his grunge look.
We'll ask him if he's not too drunk. We'll ask him, and Spencer as well.
Oh, bringing you on drunk's a bad idea, Alan.
I was on once. Remember that? And the old regime.
Patrick's. Anyway, big thanks to Patrick as well. Ozzy, should we tell him? Or are we letting Ozzy do that?
What's that?
All we'll say is big congratulations to our very own Ozzy. He knows. He'll be back. He'll be back soon. He'll be back this week, hopefully. But anyway, have a lovely old time, all of you. Take care. Make sure you smash the like on the way out. And by the way, you've only got another 10 days to get signed in for that KDB and Bernardo Silva signed frames. Take care, all. See you on the next one. Sit there. We've done the double. I prefer a treble.
Silver, running down the wing, silver. Oh, we're blue boys sing silver. We're all going to Istanbul.
You know, when you're in the middle of an outro and Alan just starts singing halfway through it. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.